so fucking insane.
This blurry apartment complex sign is where our very own Shane Eaton believes two crawlers may have been lurking and spying on him as he was working on his car at the end of the driveway. West Virginia is no mystery to aliens, from Indrid Cold to the Flatwoods Monster to Mothman that's been photographed here. Who knows what it could have been? Pettyville is a tiny village nestled between Mineral Wells and Parkersburg, West Virginia. At 638 feet above sea level, you're looking at scenes on Viscose Road here in autumn 2021 when BringBackShane had his sighting. Immediately past the Mineral Manor apartment sign was a Christmas tree farm tucked away in the woods and some hay bales that were left over from the fall of that year. So let me read Shane's experience of that autumn night 2 years ago. I decided to explain what happened to me once because it still creeps me out, so here's my story. My mother lives in an apartment complex on the edge of the city, right where Parkersburg, West Virginia turns into Mineral Wells, West Virginia. The apartment complex is on a dead-end road, but it's not quite near the dead-end part. Anyway, when I was living with her, I used to park my car on this concrete slab that was by the sign to the entrance because I could pick up Wi-Fi from this person's house. I'm usually a night owl, so this was around 2 in the morning. I had been sitting in my car for about an hour on my phone. At this point, I kept feeling like I was seeing something like a shadow in my passenger side mirror, and I couldn't shake the feeling like I was being watched. I will say that I had always gotten a weird vibe from the woods around there. Even walking down the road was frightening for me because I always felt this overwhelming anxiety. Sometimes it would be so bad that when I was walking, once I made it by the sign of the entrance, I would always take off running until I made it near the office to the apartment complex. Anyway, back to the story. After I kept seeing a shadow from the mirror, I decided I was going to turn my headlights on because since I was on my phone, my eyes were not acclimated to the darkness. So once I put my phone down, I couldn't really see. Once I turned my headlights on, there's this tall thing standing near the edge of the woods, and it starts slowly backing up into the woods. At this point, I hurried up and started my car and took off like a bat out of hell. I went to the gas station and sat there and realized that there had to have been 2 of those things because I know there was something around my car watching me. Whatever it was tall, and I remember it looking gray, but I cannot remember the face. I was so scared once I saw it that I took off so fast I didn't have time to focus on the face. To this day, I won't ever walk down that road when it's dark, especially if I'm by myself. There are also a couple times when I would walk from my friend's house who lived a couple miles from my mom's, and it was on this country road. There's a certain part of that walk where I get this sensation that I need to walk a lot faster because something is in the woods around that area and it does not want me there. I don't know how to explain it. It was just this feeling like something was really angry that I was there and it wanted me gone really fast like. I don't know, maybe it's just my mind playing tricks, or maybe there's some kind of ability that I have that I haven't quite figured out yet. If anyone has any suggestions on what I may have seen around this area of West Virginia, or on the feelings I would get when I would pass this certain area of the woods, please let me know. Thanks. Now we're going to shift gears to another man who lives between 46th and 51st Streets in Vienna, which is just 2 towns to the north. It's all connected. I'm going to read what happened when he came from his friend's house and going back to his own. From his house to my old house, it was about a 7-minute walk. I am walking down 51st Street and noticed that a party that had been going on at this one house was ending. Hella cars at that house when I walked by before, but now it was empty. As I get directly across from the house, I hear what I can barely describe as a metallic banging sound, like if I hit a trampoline pole with a baseball bat, metal on metal. I hear it once, and I think that it was probably just some drunk person messing around in the backyard, but then it starts to happen rhythmically. Every 2 to 3 seconds, a loud metal bang. Kind of started to freak me out because there were no voices along with it. So as I'm walking away, I start to hear it in the backyard of the next house on the opposite side of the street. That's when I knew something weird was going on. I'm trying not to freak out, so I keep walking, and this sound is basically following me. As I pass by each house, I hear it in every backyard, but it gets increasingly louder at each house. After about 6 houses, I'm legitimately running, and it continues. After I turned onto 8th Avenue, which was the road I lived on, it got worse. I started to hear footsteps in the backyard along with the noise. I'm dead sprinting down my road. At one point, there is a creek that separates two houses, and that noise and the footsteps completely skip over the creek into the next yard. That's when I knew whatever was doing this could not have been human. When I finally got to my house, I had to go to the back porch to sneak in through the window because I had snuck out like usual. I'm looking at the entrance to my backyard thinking that I'm going to legitimately die if I go back there. It was a horrible feeling thinking that I was walking to my death. When I get in the side yard, I actually saw a shadow out of the corner of my eye and heard the sound of someone yanking on a car door handle. Hard as heck when it's locked. That's exactly what I heard. Someone pulling hard on the door handle to the truck. I turned around so fast and nothing, not a person or anything in sight. I sprinted away so fast. The sound was clear as could be. I know what I heard, I just don't know what made the scratching noise or the pulling noise. Ever since those two things happened, I have never walked around the neighborhood by myself when it's late. Something is off about that little area. I have some suspicions, but that's another story. I hope you guys find those interesting, and feel free to ask more questions. So what do you think's causing these sightings to where people don't want to walk out at night in these areas here on the West Virginia-Ohio border? Bigfoot sightings have repeatedly increased in Ohio. Crawlers are underground in caves. Whatever it is, there's definitely something creepy going on at the West Virginia-Ohio border. And if anything else happens, we will definitely be here to let you know about it. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Friday Night Frights. Tune in next week, and feel free to subscribe to our channel if you like these stories.